Hi everyone, and welcome back to Maths and Physics with Mr. Simons, where we make maths and physics simple and we get you exam ready. So today's classwork lesson on equations deal with the fifth variation, which is algebraic fraction equations with a single term as a denominator. So we only have one term as a denominator. The more complex one you'll learn later on. Right? So let's go look at the problem. So solve for x. You've given 7x over 3 minus 3 equal x over 5 plus 15. So see, for the denominator, I only have one term, 3 and 5. Right, so to solve, I need to get to x. So I need to get rid of the denominator. So lowest common denominator, LCD. For 3 and a 5, instead of trying to figure out, I just said 3 times 5. 3 times 5 is 15. So I'm going to take every term and multiply them by 15. So 7x times 15 minus 3 times 15. X times 15 over 5 plus 15 times 15. Alright, so 3 goes in 15 how many times? 5 times. No? So that simply becomes 5 times 3x, and the 3 fell away. Negative 3 times 15 would give me negative 45. Alright. And then I have 15 times x, which is 15x. But 5 goes in 15 3 times, so that becomes 3 times x. And 15 times 15 is then 225. So there I got rid of my denominators. Now I'm just left with a linear equation. I'm back to the first method I showed you. So there 5 times 7x gives me 35x minus 45. 3 times x gives me 3x plus 25. Take my x's to the same side, so 35x minus 3x gives me 32x. 225 plus 45, it gives me 207. Right, to get x on its own, remember solve for x, so I want x to the power 1. So 32x divided by 32 gives me x. 270 divided by 32 would then give me 8 and 14 over 32. Right, and you can write that in its simplest form based on what your calculator gives you. Right, let's look at the second problem. So now we have x plus x over 3 plus x over 6 equal 1 plus 5x over 12. So lowest common denominator, I have 3, I have 6, I have 12. Right, can 3 go in 12? Yes. Can 6 go in 12? Yes. So my lowest common denominator is the highest value here, which in this case is 12, which all the values can divide into. Right, so there I'm going to multiply everything by 12. So 12 times x divided by 3 plus 12 times x divided by 6 equal 1 times 12 plus 5x times 12 over 12. Right, and this we do to get rid of the denominators at the bottom. This is only valid when there's an equal sign, when it's an equation. So 3 goes in 12, 4 times. So I'm left with 4 times x, which is 4x. 6 goes in 12, 2 times, which leaves me with 2x. There 1 times 12 stays 12. 12 times 5x is 60 divided by 12 gives me 5x. Right, so if I take all my x's to the same side, 4 plus 2 gives me 6. Plus 5 comes over, 6x minus 5x equal 12. 6 minus 5 gives me x, 1x, so x equal 12, and there we've solved for x. Right, third problem. Now they've given me 2 over 3x plus 5 over 6x equal 1 over 12x plus 1. So it looks very similar to the previous problem. But yeah, my highest value is 12, and 6 can divide into 12 with no remainder. 3 can divide into 12 by no remainder. So I'm going to multiply everything by 12x. Remember, I want to get rid of everything at the bottom. So each term has an x, so therefore I'm going to multiply by 12x. So lowest common denominator equal 2 times 12x divided by 3x plus 5 times 12x divided by 6x equal 1 times 12x, which is 12x over 12x plus 1 times 12x, which is 12x. Right, so there 12 divided by 3 gives me 4, and x cancel, so 2 times 4. Right, 6x, 12 goes into 6 goes into 12 two times. X and x cancel, so that becomes 2 times 5. 12x divided by 12x equal 1. Anything divided by itself always equal 1. And I'm left with 12x. Alright, so 2 times 4 is 8. 5 times 2 gives me 10. If I take plus 1 over, it becomes negative 1 equal 12x. 8 plus 10 is 18. 18 minus 1 gives me 17. Right, and we always divide by whatever's in front of x, which we call the coefficient of x. It's gets 12, so 12x divided by 12 gives me 1x. That there's 17 divided by 12. So there I have solved for x. X equal 17 over 12. Alright, let's look at another problem. Solve for x, but in this case it's actually a given, so it should read solve for a. Right? So we have 3a squared plus 6a over 6a equal 2. Right? Now, because I only have one denominator and I have an equal sign, to get rid of division, I'm going to use multiplication. So 3a squared plus 6a stays as appears, but I'm multiplying 6a away, so that becomes 2 times 6a. Take note, a not allowed to be equal to 0, because if I divide by a equal to 0, anything divided by 0 is undefined. So I have 3a squared plus 6a, and there 2 times 6a then gives me 12a. Right, so 3a squared plus 6a, if I bring 12a over, 6a minus 12a then gives me minus 6a equals 0. Between the two there, you see I have a minus sign separating. What is common? 3 can divide into itself, and 3 can go into 6. A squared and a can divide into a and into a squared, so I'm taking out 3a as a common factor. 3a squared divided by 3a leaves behind a, minus 6a divided by 3a, minus 6 divided by 3 is negative 2, a divided by a cancel, so I have 3a and a minus 2 equals 0, therefore 3a equals 0, or a minus 2 equals 0. 0 divided by 3 is 0, but we said a cannot equal 0. Or there, if I take negative 2 over, a equal to positive 2. Right, so hope you follow. And be very careful there. If you see there's a variable at the bottom, that variable can't be equal to 0 because we can't divide by 0. It becomes undefined. Right? So I hope you understand and you're with me. I assume you're going to continue practicing, and I wish you nothing but the best. I'm going to do as many past exam papers on equations to show you how we test it. And these 9 variations I'm doing will appear in different ways. We don't always ask all 9, but the 2 that will always be there would be the inequalities and simultaneous equations, which we'll do as variation 8 or 9. Right? Continue being the best that you can be. Work hard, put in the effort. Your effort is going to result in you having a lot higher mark in grade 12 if you take the time to put in effort in grade 10. Small pieces you're working, that small pieces of time that you spend to bettering yourself will make sure that you become the best version of yourself. God bless. Bye.